What did your crush do that absolutely killed your interest? Turned out to be the person eating everyone else's food from the break room fridge. Told me that she didn't like me back anymore, but maybe if I waited long enough she would like me like that again. Edit. She told me that I had gotten more critical lately and I changed. So she wanted me to change back before she would be with me. She invited me over to her place. Not as a date thing, but just to hang out as friends. Her house was absolutely filthy and the glass of Coke she gave me had a hair in it. She was really cute, had a great personality, and was a genuinely nice person. But as soon as I saw cat shit on the floor near the front door and just dirty everything, my crush disappeared and I left in a hurry. His sister actually approached me and let me know that he was once arrested for locking their other pregnant sister in their basement. Went on a coke binge while she desperately tried to get out, and went outside to beat their unsuspecting neighbor's van with a golf club. That was a big all nope. Kept arranging times to talk and whatnot, then always forgot or was not available. Wanted to look through my phone on our first date to make sure I wasn't talking to anyone else. That was our last date. Edit. It kind of surprises me some people think I'm a man and the other party was a woman. It's the other way around. Toxic stuff nonetheless. We worked together and as I got to know him more I learned he talked badly about everyone. Nurses that are amazing he'd belittle. Talk about how certain people don't know what they're doing because they asked for an ultrasound IV, as they were struggling getting a vein on a heroin addict. The paramedics were worthless. Doctors don't know what they're doing. Who he thought was hooking up and it completely turned me off. He's in his early 40s and into gossip more than my teenage daughter. Said she was staring up a group for LGBT youth. I asked her why, and then realized I had been barking up the wrong tree. He picked me up for our first date and his car was disgusting. Not talking a few trash items. The entire backseat and floorboard was completely covered in piled up trash. Even up front, I had to step on empty McDonald's bags, old soda bottles, wrappers etc. to even get in. And all he said was, "Just move it around with your feet." No sorry or anything. Made me feel like trash too. Like dang. Couldn't even clean up a little. Talked non-stop about himself and his accomplishments and never asked me one question about myself. She asked me if I was good with kids because she was pregnant with her ex and she's not good with kids. It was the first date. We played Monopoly. That game brings out the absolute worst in people. Well, it turns out he wasn't interested in girls, so I knew I had to kill my feelings or feel stupid for keeping them. I don't get washing, I just don't really like taking a shower or a bath or anything. She detested cats and insisted that I give up my furry buddy before she'd move in with me. It wasn't that she was allergic to cats. She issued the ultimatum because, according to her, my cat received too much of my time and affection, and she wasn't going to compete. Told me he liked dating broken girls so he could fix them. See ya later, boner. We were teenagers. He lived in a different province, and we used to chat on Skype. He wanted me to think he was a badass or something and would always talk about his drug use. He ended up faking a heroin overdose when we were on chat together. I was hysterically crying and freaking out thinking I was watching someone dying and was trying to figure out how to call 911 in another province when he snapped out of it and told me he was actually okay. I didn't talk to him much after that. Huge crush on a fellow uni student. I was invited over for what I expected to be a platonic study date. But hey, any time spent is better than just being alone. Or so I thought. Got there and found another student from class also. Okay. Study group. Turns out her mom and her set us up for a full press MLM pitch. Video. Literature. The works. I stayed a bit not to be rude. Excused myself shortly. And only talked to her in class just in passing from then on. Huge letdown. Edit. MLM means multi-level marketing, aka a pyramid scheme. Signing up to both buy and sell something, while recruiting others to sell also. You get a % of all of your recruits' sales also. All the percentages basically flow upward. So the only way to make any significant money is to be high in the tree, towards the top of the pyramid. It's all bullshit. Basically. Threw my $2,000 laptop through my new big screen TV. This was years ago. On a first date. Tried to convince me to quit my job and put all my savings into gold bars. Then demanded I let him read my tarot cards to see if we'd be a good fit. Nope, nope, nope. Light the back fence of the school on fire to impress a mate. Edit. Should add that he did it whilst high. Weed is not legal here in Australia yet. I was 21 and in college. He was a classmate of mine. He seemed so charming and was easy on the eyes. One day I overheard him talking to his friends about how he doesn't date engineer women because math is for men. Edit. Some people are missing the point here. It's not that he said he wouldn't want to date an engineer that bothered me. It's that he said that women aren't meant for math. Talked shit about every woman in his life. Should have seen the red flags earlier. Didn't realize until later that he probably did the same to me. Apparently having an opinion about anything and speaking for yourself isn't a very ladylike thing to do. Dude was the perfect epitome of the term douchebag. He used to be nice to people only to gain their trust and then betray them. He was attractive though and a smooth talker as well. We started talking, became friends and I developed a crush on him. Unfortunately, I never knew then what type of double-headed snake he was. Then on one day I witnessed him throwing his best friend under the bus just to save his reputation. Completely lost interest. Cut ties with him and he gave no shit about it. Only then did I realize how toxic people can be sometimes. Edit. Grammar. She got blackout drunk at a party and violently shat her pants. The smell alone completely turned me off of any interest I had. Being rude to the waiter and complain that food is taking too long during dinner rush hour. I work in the industry for a year. It's not easy when being slammed during rush. Kicked a dog. Edit. I don't understand any of the references in the comments. Told me I wasn't attractive and that she could never possibly like me. Game over. Girl in car behind him honked when the light turned green. He got out of the car and began screaming and banging on her windshield. That's when I knew he was a psycho and I needed to get out of that relationship. Took me a destroyed home and 2 restraining orders later, but we've been broken up for 3 years now. We were going on a date and when we were just next to the cinema she found her friend and she went with her instead. Stole from a homeless person. We were walking together downtown and she saw a bucket of coins in front of a pharmacy. She just scooped it all up and kept walking. Guy comes out as she's 20 feet away or so and yells at her. She keeps moving. I stood there and just gave him a $20 and didn't hang out with her anymore. We were 14 and 15. Told me he was only being nice to me because he was interested in a friend of mine. I see his Facebook posts now. He is dumber than a box of rocks on a treadmill. Too critical about every word I uttered under the name of sarcasm. Dumped me after 9 months because she wasn't ready for a serious relationship. Got into a relationship the next day and was married within 5 months. Treated me like shit for being the only female in our paintball team. He said that women belong to kitchen, not battlefield. Edit. I never, though the worst memory of my life will bring me the most karma out of everything I've ever posted. Thanks. I kinda hope he has read it and find it now. Edit 2. Guys, I made a mistake. He didn't say battlefield. We are Polish. He said something that cannot be translated perfectly, so I just captured the idea. The word battlefield is mine. I didn't know how to call it in English. Now I know it's a field. Sorry. She asked if things didn't work out if I would mind if she went out with my roommate. I said I couldn't possibly do that to him and left. There was a girl in college who was super hot until I saw her share a lollipop with her dog. Not like let him have the last lick or two. No. She'd hold it for a while, then hold it out to let the dog lick it for a bit, then put it back in her mouth. Fucking gross. I've been talking to a guy online for a while now. In the past few days, our conversation has jumped from a dating app to texting to phone calls the last few nights. We were really hitting it off on the phone both nights. But he was drinking while talking to me, and each night he got more repetitive and emotional as the conversation went on. The conversation then went off the rails and he seemed angry with me for some unknown reason and hung up. The first night it happened, I gave him the benefit of the doubt because we've all accidentally drank too much sometimes and acted a fool. But 2 nights in a row, yeah, any attraction I was developing is gone. I'm not interested in dating an abusive drunk. Told me that smart girls are ugly and dumb girls are beautiful, so he'd rather date a dumb girl and wouldn't date me because I'm smart. Edit. Wow. This is the most upvotes I've gotten. Thanks guys, less than 3. Edit 2. Thanks kind stranger for the award. It's my first award. Thank you very much. In college, I was crazy about a girl named Megan. She was maybe 2 years younger than me. Blonde, life of the party type gal. Took her to dinner and chatted her up about her life. Got to talking about past SOs and realized she had very little experience with meaningful, loving relationships. Romantically, it seemed she was on autopilot. In fact, the more we talked, the more obvious it became that she wasn't ready to love anyone but herself. Which, yeah, no. Good for her. Self-love and self-discovery are kind of big parts of going away to college and growing up. But I realized in that moment that what I wanted versus what she wanted were miles apart. It was a crystallizing moment, and I felt the distance between us widen and watched her shrink away. Never asked her out again, and she never asked why. Either she felt it, too, or autopilot just kicked in, or she just wasn't interested. Smoked. I know it's shallow and it makes me kind of a dick, I'm aware, but I seriously can't stand the smell of cigarette smoke. My 18-year-old self thought it would be cute to invite him to a Christmas parade, but this dude had the audacity to ask me why I thought he would ever be interested in someone like me. *Edit. Yay, my first 3K. I wish I could take you all to a Christmas parade. Also, I met my boyfriend just over a year ago and it has been the most wonderful surprise of my life. Heart asterisk. Bragged about drinking and driving. He told me that he and his friends have a nothing under 100 club, where they drink and then drive on the interstate going 100 plus mph and have to send a full-length Snapchat video of the speedometer to each other. 2 of my friends had been killed by a drunk driver 3 months prior. Placed the tip on the table before we'd received service before using it as a threat. Real ugly. This was in preschool, but she put relish on her hot dog. Game over. I've since learned to love relish and always wonder what could have been. She offered to drive and picked me up in her car because we had plans to go out to dinner and get to know each other better. I realized after about 20 minutes she was not driving to the restaurant and instead stopped at a gas station to get into someone else's car and buy drugs. Basically made me accessory to a drug deal under false pretenses. Filmed me and made Snapchat stories of it. All while I was in an argument with somebody from our neighborhoods. Just no. I am so kind to you. Why would you do that? Immediately blocked her on WhatsApp and unfollowed everywhere. Edit. Somebody commented I would not mind. She clearly did not ask me for permission. It was an argument where I was being yelled at for parking mistake. If she enjoys somebody confronting me for an unintentional error, I don't think so she is worth it. Thanks for the upvotes. Kissed me and then, after he pulled away, told me he has a girlfriend. Had a crush on this girl back in high school. She seemed like a sweet girl. After she rejected me, I let it go but still was interested in maintaining some sort of friendship. Found out she was actually pretty toxic behind my back. She made fun of me for a lot of things that really didn't matter. Like hand motions while talking. And I just lost interest in her entirely. Even in a friendship. Basically shut me down and made it clear to me that I was being the typical nice guy cliché. This is back when I was about 20. After a couple of days of sulking, I started examining my behavior and realized she was absolutely right. Glad it happened. My ideas of how a relationship should work were entirely twisted at the time. I got my shit together shortly after. Addressed my stupid and entitled behavior. Worked on myself, mentally and physically, and eventually met an amazing woman who is now my wife. Scary to look back and think how close I got to becoming one of those incel neckbeard types. Revealed his list of conquests. Not even my brother knows how many women I've slept with. Then he offered to take my virginity in the back of his pickup truck. I passed. Asked if I wanted a drink of her Coke. I said yes and took one. Then she laughed and, haha, you have my cold now. He told me he hadn't read a single book in his life. He talked about how he and his friends used to abuse farm cats. They talked about one that was buried and then run over. I did a quick 180 and absolutely hated him. He didn't believe in dinosaurs. One of those super religious types, and someone got into a conversation with him about dinosaurs and he was absolutely convinced that dinosaur bones were put there by the devil to trick us. Quote, as a firm lover of dinosaurs, as soon as I heard that, any and all attraction disappeared. Edit. This toast got a bit bigger than I ever expected and the comments are cracking me up. I love dinosaurs, and doodling them, so much that I made a little doodle. http imager.com/a/abfdjs. To celebrate. Thank y'all. In a group text with a ton of our mutual friends, he ignited an argument about lockdown and ended it with, sorry, I just like arguing, and that didn't pass the vibe check. She said I smile too much. Fuck you. I smile when I want to. I try to find joy. Started gaming with him and learned that he threw tantrums worthy of a toddler when losing matches. Haven't dated in 24 years, but mine treated a waiter like shit. Nope. Chewed with her mouth open on our first date. I never thought something like that could kill my interest so rapidly. She brought a friend to dinner with us, which was okay. I didn't mind. Then they both shoplifted afterward while I was on the other side of the store. Told her I didn't date thieves and she broke down, apologizing. I saw a bit of a tattoo under his shirt. So naturally I asked him what it was. It's an eagle. Wow, that's cool. Quote. He proceeded to lift up his shirt. Turned out that it wasn't a cool, cheesy eagle in the wind or something. It was the logo type one with its head completely turned to the side. Wings sprung out on either side. full-on Nazi symbol on his chest. I was taken aback, but decided to give him the benefit of the doubt, and asked him some more political stuff. Yeah, no doubt there. He was a homophobic, foreigners-hating dick. I did not thank the friend who set us up on this blind date. Edit. Just to clarify, it wasn't a small, or even medium tattoo. It took over all of his left pectoral. Just ugly thick black lines. Nothing stylized. If you want to celebrate your German heritage, cool, go for it. But I think there might be better ways to do it. Because having such a big statement tattooed on your body is quite unambiguous right off the bat. Thanks for watching. If you like, please subscribe.